Hey YouTube, how's it going? Chaos Emperor Dragons here, bringing you a new deck profile of the Unchained monsters. Tried out against a couple of mates. I think it's actually a really good deck. Not sure if it's competitive, maybe a tier 2, but still really lots of fun. It actually works really well. So I'm just going to bring you the deck profile and show you what they do. So first things first, we've got 3 of the Unchained Soul of Disaster. This is a very good card, and you can see like the artwork's actually really nice. Great effect. So basically you bring this guy out, it can target one of your opponent's monsters, and then you can link them off into a dark link monster. It's just really good. So this whole deck, this whole like Unchained cards is all about linking off your opponent's monsters. So just a really fun mechanic. Next we've got the twins. So you've got the Aroha and the Rakia. Both got very similar effects. So the Aroha has the effect where it activates from your hand. It pops a card you control on the field to special summon itself out. And normally the card you're going to pop is a set card. So like one of your set Unchained traps or one of your set Unchained spells. Because they all have the same effect, whereas you pop it when it's set, you can special summon an Unchained monster from your deck. And this is the card you're going to bring out. And Rakia is the one that if you normal summon it, it's got a quick effect to pop. So you can apparently, like, you could disrupt on your opponent's turn as well. So yeah, really good cards. Carry on with the monsters. I'm playing one of each spirit. These cards are so good. They basically do like an infinite loop of bringing out your Soul of Disaster from the graveyard. So basically if this gets sent to the graveyard and these are in your graveyard, or the other way around, sorry, you can send this instead and bring out the disaster again. But its effects will be negated, but you don't mind because you've got a strong monster on the field because its defense is 3000. And then like, if this is in your graveyard, so for this one, if a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can send this to the graveyard and special summon out your level 8 fiend. This one, if a monster declares an attack, you can send this to the graveyard and bring out your level 8 fiend. And then if these are in your graveyard and the fiend sent to the graveyard, they're level 8, these come back to your hand. And it's an infinite loop. They just keep going. So they're like a must if you're going to play the Unchained. And then I'm actually playing 2 of the Necrophirs. So 1 Curse of the Necrophir. And then 1 Dark Necrophir. Sorry, it's a common. So Dark Necrophir's got the effect where you bring it out by banishing 3 Dark Fiend monsters from your graveyard, which is actually really easy to accomplish. And then while it's on the field, if your opponent destroys it, then you can bring it back out and take control of one of your opponent's monsters. But then this has got the opposite effect. So you can special summon it by returning those 3 banished monsters to your deck, and then it brings it out and then it's got its own effects. But what's really good about this is it can just be special effect by card effect. So if this is in your graveyard, you can loop this with one of these guys instead as well. So that's the reason why I'm playing these guys. I might cut this and add another Necrophir instead. So carry on with the monsters. I've got 1 tour guide. You normal summon this card, you can special summon 1 level fiend monster from your deck or from your hand, but its effects are negated. So you'd use this to bring out one of your fiends and then start doing some link plays. Even though its effects negated on the field, as soon as it goes in the graveyard, it's active again. And then I'm playing a level 4 Phantom Skyblaster. It's a really good effect. So when you normal summon it, you can summon the number of tokens based on the number of monsters you control. So because Aroha pops in your hand, you can special summon it, get out a disaster, then normal summon your Phantom, and then you can actually bring out, well, theoretically 3 tokens, but another 2, so you've got 5 cards on the field, and do your full link plays from there. And then, just to kind of carry on with the monsters, I've got 3 Lilith, mainly just to find normal traps in the deck. Then I'm playing 3 Effectivator as my hand trap. And then for my spice for this deck, the Iron Dragon T-Motion. I really like this card and it works so well in this deck. And the reason it works so well is if on your turn you can't really do any plays, you can set one of your Unchained cards in a column where it's an extra monster zone, because you're most likely that's where your opponent will bring out an extra monster to. Then as soon as 3 cards in one column, you can special summon this card. If you have your extra monster in the other column, you can bring it into the one where your opponent is, destroys everything in that column, so you get to special summon an Unchained monster because you most likely have an Unchained card set. And you'll completely lock your opponent out of the extra monster zone because yours is occupying the other one. And while this card is still active on the field, they can't special summon or use anything in those zones. And it works so well. And because the Unchained cards are about popping themselves to special summon themselves, it works really well in this deck. So I'm playing this at 2, and it's a lot of fun. Your opponent doesn't expect it, and it's a quick effect. So you can use it on your opponent's turn. So, brilliant. So that's it for the monsters. As you pretty much expect, you basically want to see one of the twins in your opening hand, and then you're sort of pretty comfortable. That to the side. Cool. So moving on to the magics, I've got 3 of the Abomination Prison. So this is the searcher. So if you don't have one of the twins in your hand, you can use this to bring one of them into your hand, and then start your plays from there. If you do have one in your hand, you can just set this, and as I said, all the Unchained cards have the same effect. So if you pop it, you can special summon an Unchained from your deck. And then to carry on with the Unchained magics, I've got 2 of the Wailing. It's got a good effect in terms of if you link Unchained monster while this is active, you can pop a card on the field, which is a really nice effect. But once again, once it's set, you can pop it and special summon from the deck. Now I'm playing 2 Call by the Grave, just for hand traps, and then 1 Monster Reborn. Cool, and that's it for the magics. And then there's quite a lot of traps, but mainly just because you can pop them, but also just how it does help the deck run later in the games. So I've got 3 of the Escape the Unchained and 3 of the Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. So this one pops one of your Unchained cards on the field, and then allows you to pop one of your opponent's cards as well. And this allows you to special summon from the graveyard an Unchained monster. So if your link monsters in the graveyard, you can use this to bring one of them back. But they both have the other secondary effect where if you pop it, you can special summon an Unchained from your deck. And then to help with recursion, I've got 2 back to the fronts, 2 trap tricks, just for consistency to help find the cards, and then 3 solemn strikes. Just because this deck's all about disrupting your opponent and stopping them on their turn, just to just stop them playing Yu-Gi-Oh basically, and just make sure you can carry on doing yours. So yeah, just to stop anything you can't link off. So that's it for the main deck. It's a bit heavy. I think it's a 42 card deck, but yeah, as I said, it's a lot of fun actually. So bringing you onto the monsters. So for me, the MVP of the extra deck is the Unchained Soul of Rage. So if you're starting first, this is kind of what you want to leave out. It's got a quick effect where you can target one of your opponent's special summon monsters, and then you can link them off for a Dark Link monster. So you can target any of the link monsters and then go off into one of the others. So normally, what you'd go into is this one, the Unchained Soul of Anguish. And then it's got the same effect, but you activate on your turn rather than your opponent's. And then the link for of this is the Unchained Abomination. This is kind of like the boss monster of the deck, and it's really good in terms of you bring this out. If a target gets destroyed on the field, that has an effect that allows you to destroy another target. If this destroys something by battle, you can destroy something else on the field. In your end phase, you can destroy something in your field and your opponent's end phase as well. So like, it's a 3000 beat stick, and it can just constantly pop cards. So very good boss monster, and pretty much if you got this on the field, you would have cleared most of your opponent's board area because you would have linked them away with these. And then even if they got a couple of back row, you can destroy the back row because you would have destroyed any other monsters they got by battle. So this works really well. And if you've got Wailing of the Unchained, the magic card, so when you had linked into this, you could have popped a card on the field as well. So it just helps clear out back row. So yeah, these are the Unchained monsters, are really good. I'll probably try and get a third one of this because it's just so good, and your opponent just doesn't really have it out to it most of the time. because normally the monster you'd select won't have that effect of can't be targeted by card effects, because you wouldn't let your opponent link climb that far. You'd link off something really quickly. And now for my other link twos, got a Nightmare Phoenix, just in case of back row. Got a Wee Witch Apprentice. So this is quite good. It's, if you bring this out because you just can't go further, or just depending on how the game's going, when this gets destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can target one of your dark monsters in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So if you just need to bring back one of the twins to your hand. I've got one Cherubini because we've just got loads of link 3s in there, and they will protect monsters that the arrow points to. One IP Masquerader, because this whole deck's about doing stuff in your opponent's turn, so why not? And then for link 3, I've got one BLS. And then I've got loads of link 4s, and I'm playing around with the extra deck at the moment. I'm not sure if it's quite complete, but I've got one Mekk-Knight Crusader, one Borrow Sword, one Bomber Dragon, one Appaloosa, which I actually might cut because you never really get sort of 3 to finish off, and like you can get 3 monsters out and then pull this out, but then yeah, you don't really have much else, so I might cut this. It's not actually very good. But then the card which I really like in this deck is Topologic with Zorovirus. So the reason I like this is because you can link summon on your opponent's turn. You bring this out, and if they carry on trying to special summon, most likely you'll banish everything on the field. And it just works really well. Or if you've got a Rakia and you pop one of your own cards just to force the banishment, that also works really well. Because if you've got a Rakia, you pop it, so you special summon one of your monsters, everything gets banished, and you banish everything your opponent has. And because it's on their turn, as soon as it becomes your turn, this comes back and it gains attack to every card that was banished. So just a really nice win condition. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile. Let me down in the comment sections whether you, what you liked about it, what you don't like. As I said, it's a deck in progress at the moment. I've played a few matches with it. It was really fun. Really worked quite well. But yeah, let me know what you think. I think I might try adding some Burning Abyss cards in and taking some other stuff out, just because they're link 3s, and it might help me go into Cherubini earlier and then carry on with some of the Unchained plays. Cool. Thank you very much. See you next time.